don't get too married to Pochettino. He's going to be gone in 349 days. Winning in games in Europe is actually important, and that's something that those guys are going to learn once they get there. That's a shot at MLS, isn't it? It really is. I've only got six guys that had a legit chance to be in the 2026 World Cup on that current roster. The United States has lost to Mexico. It's over. Get over it. I don't think that this is anything to get upset about. Mexico's a pretty good team. You, as Americans, need to be patient. Screaming at the rain about losing this game or basically listing off the teams that we've lost to, that's kind of productive. That we know that. We know that this team, this particular team, isn't great. It isn't great. All right, welcome back in. Here we are again. My mic is moving. I don't know why. This episode, of course, brought to you by my boys at NF1, or otherwise known as Neuroforce. You get it in you, and you'll figure out how to make yourself just a more healthy person altogether. Not a long, drawn-out advert here, but honestly, pretty good stuff. It's changing my life. This episode is about the aftermath of losing to Mexico. We got to see Javier Aguirre dance a little bit, which was kind of fun. If you didn't see that, go find that. That was pretty interesting stuff. But I mean, congratulations, Mexico. I mean, my initial reaction from the game last night was essentially to say, well, congrats. You didn't cheat, but we Americans got cheated. That's a penalty. So, I think in the moment, sometimes these moments are pretty big, and sometimes they're hard to handle. Offsides are one thing, but a moment like that where Sanchez puts his hand completely on the ball and uses it to hold himself up. I was a little upset last night. I said, I guess I just don't understand the fucking rules anymore. I guess I don't. That's a handball anywhere. And I think that's a misinterpretation of the rules or the laws of the game, as they like to call them. And watching everybody, spiral and basically swim backwards trying to explain it away has been comedy. So we lost. It's over. The United States loses the game. Pochettino's reaction, we saw that. He said, this is embarrassing to have to live a moment like that. We're not going to cry. I think that was also his statement. I'm with him on this one. I do think that under the circumstances, it was a silly moment. Silly was the other thing, I think, the word that he used, because sometimes red cards and or penalties are silly. There's silly actions that happen in the game. Moments, it seems like the South Americans love to call it moments. We are in a moment. That was certainly a moment, and it was a penalty. It never happened. So no, we don't have to sit here and cry about it, but I do think that Pochettino, in his process of evaluation, whether we won last night or not, doesn't really affect his interpretation and or his assessment of what the U.S. national team is right now. Certain guys were able to play themselves into the possibility of being asked back, and I think a couple of these guys, their phone might not ring. Sorry. That might be it. Some guys just kind of ghosted out of this one simply because they were hurt or they had conditions that prohibited them from playing. I mean, Johnny Cardoso certainly falls into that category. Probably could have used them in this competition, but all things being equal, Pochettino's got a lot to think about and he's got a lot of time to do it, but it didn't really affect him. It doesn't affect you. Let's just be honest about that. Pochettino's an Argentine coach. It's not that he doesn't care. He wants to win the game, but he's not as emotionally connected to the win or the loss when it comes to a nation that we are. If you are American, you want the United States to win. He's coaching a team that just happens to be the United States. Okay, let's get that straight. I mean, not that all these guys are mercenaries and are just chasing a job, but don't get too married to Pochettino. He's going to be gone in 349 days. That math might be wrong. Don't check me on that, but it's somewhere around there, and that's okay. He's been given a job. We're paying him a lot of money. Other private people are funding this damn thing, so this guy can coach our team. But don't expect him to get over upset and to start screaming at journalists when we lose a game and don't get a penalty kick call. It's not that he doesn't care. It's just that he doesn't care as much as some of you might. That's the reality of it. Bottom line is the aftermath is that we'll find out in the coming days which players have made the list and which players have not. And those phone calls are probably going to happen in the next couple of weeks. But again, we've got plenty of time to think about it, chew on it, analyze it. Those guys are sitting in front of their computers right now, uh, watching plays and trying to figure this stuff out and getting the presentations ready for the bad call or the good call for some of the guys that are going to stick around or will be shown the door. It gives me an opportunity, especially on this show, to answer my phone because I didn't turn off my ringer. It's Pochettino. Oh my God. Maybe he's getting upset with me. I'm just kidding. It's not. It's somebody else. But the bottom line is that the national team is being built as we speak, and it is a process in progress. I hate it when those guys say process, but that's what's happening right now. You, as Americans, need to be patient. Screaming at the rain about losing this game, or basically listing off the teams that we've lost to, and then listing off the teams that we were able to defeat, and saying that we're nowhere better or this and the other. That's kind of productive. That we know that. We know that this team, this particular team, isn't great. It isn't great. And I've done it in the past. I've compared it to the past teams, and I'm just not going to do that today. I think that's actually becoming counterproductive. I get upset about it because I want our players to end in a better spot. I want them to have ambition, and I want them to utilize this platform that the U.S. national team provides for them, especially the MLS guys, the Max Arfstons of the world, right? The Diego Lunas of the world, Ajamang, who looks like he's on his way to Europe. This is all great news. But this is a platform for the rest of the world to watch us and to determine whether that they can help them win games in Europe, because winning in games in Europe is actually important. And that's something that those guys are going to learn once they get there. It's a shot at MLS, isn't it? It really is. I'm not going to apologize. Either way, the United States has lost to Mexico. It's over. Get over it, and we'll wait to see how things shake out. I don't think that this is anything to get upset about. Mexico's a pretty good team. Just so happens that 3 of the 4 EPL players, scored last night. And those are the only 4 players that were playing at that kind of level. So it makes sense, and I do think that with some of the players who are getting that experience for the first time, of getting a good set of games and being able to represent the United States of America, they will grow from this. And they'll become better players for it. Whether that means that they're good enough to make the World Cup team next year, yet to be seen. I've only got 6 guys. 6 guys that had a legit chance to be in the 2026 World Cup on that current roster. I'll let you think about that and wonder who the hell I'm talking about. But I'm going to start talking about players in the next episode, so stick around.